All right, what's going on, everybody? We're back live. Things are heating up a little bit, so I turn my camera back on. It's just afternoon here. We're outside the Michigan Senate building here. Legislative Senate, I'm meeting inside.
It's funny you say that. But you know, in Michigan, we have some really cool.
So anyway, I thought she was talking to me. We're outside the Bumstead building here, Michigan Senate building here in Lansing, where they're meeting inside. They're having a Senate hearing about some bills here.
Republican challenger, but I did not challenge. I was there just to hopefully see some improvements while I was there. One item that I would like to point out to you, the ballot containers that the ballots are stored in. Those are supposed to be certified by the Board of Canvassers.
State police out here.
Expiration dates on them labels.
We're outside the Michigan Senate building right now.
TCF Center, I located 5 ballot containers that had red labels on them that said do not use. Those were rejected by the Board of Canvassers because they were not secure. The last order that the city of Detroit placed for their ballot containers, the welds were not properly sealed on the back, and you can actually slip paper in and out of the back of those ballot boxes. Those counting boards that use the red label uncertified ballot containers, those will not be recounted. 1 minute. The other thing that I would like to know, I did experiment with shift change for election inspectors. I think that was helpful instead of having people work the entire time and be very tired. As you're looking at policy moving forward,
Big dog
I would
here.
like to
Jeez.
point out
Rottweiler.
that Tuesday evening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next morning, the majority of the election inspectors who are working at the tables processing ballots were idle for at least, I would say they were working about 2 hours of their entire shift. If you're looking at improvements moving forward, the adjudication process is what is the bottleneck, and it's taking the most time. I would look at more funding and more equipment for the adjudication process as a solution.
I'm not the only one live streaming. There's a couple of people out here streaming. This is the Capitol building.
How that impacts the canvas and balancing out of the precincts, but I don't think we have time for that this afternoon. If you have additional questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Ms. Palmer, thank you for that, and I would like to be able to reach out to you later and ask not just some of those questions, but to understand better some of the canvassing processes and how they work too. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Vice Chair Lucido has questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Palmer. I say it's super knowledgeable and, more importantly, necessary to create and to shape policy. And it would make more sense. Did you take any photographs of these boxes, these ballot boxes? Did you offer this as part of your testimony, some of these photographs that you can bring on file? And are you planning on submitting those to the Attorney General at this stage?
That's okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay. Thanks.
Do you know whether or not it was?
Yes, they were on the floor at TCF.
They have whistleblowers at the TCF Center testifying before the Senate. In case you don't know, they got a couple speakers out here. Those speakers you hear right there, that's what's going on inside the building. So,
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lucido. Seeing no other questions, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Next I have Karen Cordes, followed by Brian Cannabaker, and then a name that I'm absolutely not going to get right, I'm sure, but Hima Oyanadri from Northville. So I'm not sure if I pronounced your name correctly. It's Hima from Northville. Okay. Right now we have Ms. Cordes. Welcome to the Oversight Committee. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Karen O'Brien Cordes, and I'm a registered voter voted from Novi, Michigan.
Got a news crew out here.
My father was a firefighter for the city of Detroit for 35 years, and I left the city.
I'm not sure what camera this is, what channel.
And I found it interesting when he asked for a show of hands how many Republican poll workers there were. From my quick peruse of the room, I saw no handful. And I commented to one of the workers that I was with, wow, that's a surprise. I don't see any Republican hands go up. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I then walked over to the tabulator machines and I watched one of the groups of two that were putting the votes and the ballots through the tabulator machine. As the ballots came up, they were rubber banded together in groups of 50 for a total group of 200 that were put through the machines. I counted the ballots, and ballots that went through the tabulator machine were 196. So I commented to the workers. I said, well, that's kind of interesting because on the laptop, it showed 204 ballots that were counted. But on the tabulator, only 196 went through. So I asked the workers about that, and they said they didn't know why that happened, that they had to put some of them through twice, but they didn't know why, and that I would have to speak to a supervisor. I went back, that was on November 3rd. On November 4th, some of us were summoned to come back, that they needed more workers, more challengers. So we went back on November 4th. In the afternoon of November 4th, I believe it was about 4:30 or 5 o'clock when the military ballots came in. And I was working with one particular table when I was witnessing the military ballots, and I found it highly unusual that every military ballot that was logged into the system had a birth date of January 1st, 1900. And nobody could tell me why the birth dates were 1900. When I went to challenge those votes, the supervisor at the table told me, and I quote,
So he's loudmouth at it again. these are my homies. What are they doing? I love these guys.
Shut
Channel 17 out here. That's Fox 17. That's right next to me. Got Channel 6 out here, Channel 17. Oh, looks like Adam's going to be on the news.
Evidence, sworn statements. I hear in the media all the time that there's no evidence. There's no evidence. We met in Macomb County about 3 weeks ago with Sean Flynn and one of the GOP officers, and he walked out of there with a stack of sworn statements. Statements that you're familiar with the fact that people made these statements under oath and under the threat of perjury if they lied or mislead. Okay. So, two of the main observations that I witnessed at the TCF Center on both the 3rd and the 4th when I was there, when I got down there on the morning of the 4th, I went back for an additional day because I witnessed so many irregularities when I was there on Election Day on the 3rd. Immediately upon walking in, I ran into Randy Bishop. And Randy owns the radio stations. He's very IT savvy. He said, Brian, I was here all night. What's going on here is unbelievable. He said, let me show you something right now before I leave. So he walked me over to the high-speed scanners and tabulators. He said, see all these Ethernet lines running out of the tabulators? They're all bundled together as they accumulate, and then they're all connected to these routers. And then they all go to the main computer. He said, these are all hooked into the internet, and that is illegal. And it should not be happening because it opens them up to hacking. So I was aware of that immediately when I got there.
That's 3 minutes. Can you put your rest of your remarks in writing for us?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. I'm sorry that we're trying to keep moving. Any questions?
I understand.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time today, sir.
Thanks, Brian.
Next, we have this name that I'm doing very poorly with, Hema. Hema, welcome to the Senate Oversight Committee. After her will be Melissa Carone and James Danley. Hema, welcome to the Senate Oversight Committee. Can you tell me how to say your last name correctly?
Kolanagi Reddy.
So now everybody else can.
The moment I saw you voting on that card, I'm like, that's gotta be me.
Well, you have 3 minutes, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. This is my first time doing this as a pro challenger at TCF. As an immigrant to this country, as you can tell, we had great respect for America, the elections here. We always thought it has a lot of integrity, whereas the countries we come from, a lot of things happen. But all of that changed the day I was on TCF on both the days 3rd and the 4th. So it was pretty much the same, one ton of stuff going on, nothing much to note, other than occasional data challenging. But the next day is where I noticed a lot of issues. There was a group of people who were like agitators who were trying to get UAP people in trouble. And from my skin color, everybody assumes that I'm a Democrat. And so they just kind of come to me. And one of the ladies was saying that let's do this.
Yeah, I'm just seeing how many are up there. It looks like 7. Yeah.
And that's really because she thought I was a Democrat. Then when I put up my head, she was like, you're on the wrong side. I'm like, how can you say I'm on the wrong side? I can tell whatever I want, right? Because this is a free country. But then I noticed that they were going and getting all the white male Republicans out by, just kind of shooting situations. They're just saying, oh, you're not split. You're going to get people killed. Like it's hurting some other people. And then what I did was, I got trained by Chief, both the MIT and Election Integrity Fund. So I went to Tim Griffin of Election Integrity Fund and I said, can I have my non-partisan credentials? And then when I got that badge on, everything changed. Like people just look at me differently. I was looked at with a lot of hostility when I had the GOP tag, and now that I have a non-partisan tag, I was respected at the turning board. I was respected by the Democrats in the ACLU. And in fact, I was able to even help some of the people from being escorted out by putting myself there and asking why they were even being escorted out and arguing with the people. But the whole environment is so hostile. And freedom in our brain. And a lot of people have talked about the balance of the line of the
It is a cold Tuesday morning.
So let us keep let us have the consent of the government in order for the losing side, the opposition, to accept the leadership of the people who they did not vote for. We need to have a full and complete audit. Let us see if in fact the opposition lost and how they lost. It does no good for transparency. In fact, it is intransparent.
The thing that bothered me was that
Prevent
every
this from
time
happening, to cover it up, and to tell people just accept
all
what
the
they're
poll
told.
workers,
That's not consent of
everybody
the
else,
government. That's not
cheering,
how it works in
and
our
that was very
Constitution, and that's not a republic.
Testimony.
What did I say?
Thank you so much for your time.
Rash judgment.
We got a news crew out here, 17, 6. A lot of independent journalists out here. Whoa, come on, dude.
You guys are lying to the public, and you continue to spread lies, you twist your own narrative, you edit out facts. It's ridiculous. You guys are definitely controlled by the communist world populist regime that's taken over our whole democracy. So as far as Channel 6, you go fuck yourself. And people, I fucking hate you. And we're tired of fake news. Fuck off.
They're replacing these guys. Yeah, I know, but like, they're the future. You guys are kind of the past. This corporate sponsored, whatever.
They told me that I would be parking in a parking lot and struggle.
I'm here to support you.
And my mom said, no, absolutely not.
This election, I'm not the only one. I believe that all of from a variety of reasons, only African American members in my family, and speaking of also the babies in the womb, which are all the biggest emphasis on abortion against African Americans. I strongly disagree with it also.
One of them has a whatsoever.
When I gave my information,
No, I really decided not to. Okay. Also, adjudication process. I witnessed numerous people walking up, claiming they were both Democrats, saying they were sitting together, judging ballots all night, all day together. I witnessed it all. I was on the main stage with all of the city officials. Daniel Baxter was in on the whole thing, and I am under the impression 100% that at least 90% of those workers were all in this. There was not a single ballot the whole night, the 27 hours I was there.
No, I don't have a fucking mask on, and I'm not gonna put one on.
Not one. Not a single ballot. That is.
Because I'm a free American.
That is. There is no reason for that. Also, I'm gonna say that there was something going on at that Department of Justice, and it's clearly something that's very
That one guy was right.
illegal.
Independent media is the new wave of the future. Enough with these mainstream idiots.
Vice Chair Lucido has a question.
You were employed by whom to do what?
Okay, so I am a freelance IT worker. I was
Yeah, it's cold out.
CBS, P as in Paul, V as in David, S as in Sam, staffing, to work to assist with IT work for Dominion. At the
Software company.
Dominion Voting Systems, correct. I was with Nick Autonomagis. He's
Why
my
you
manager.
I apologize, but this is why did they feel that they needed to have
Don't get beat up, bro. No, I think I'm good. I can handle myself. I might only be 5'6", but I can handle myself.
Never did I ever admit I was a Republican. These people, the comments that they were making were disgusting.
regardless of Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green, doesn't matter. I'm getting right to the heart of it. What was the stated purpose that the software company needed to have the assistance of support staff for IT?
I believe that
Puppy.
it was because
Hey, puppy.
that our permanent employees at Dominion, Nick is a part owner, that they had to be together on the stage, working together. So it looked like they had assistance with IT. Now, I was also not allowed to wear a badge or tell anybody who I was working with.
That's fine. So, your opinion that it was them that needed to be there. You don't know anything if it was contractual. You don't know if there was anything that was going glitchy, which means that there was.
Oh, I know of a lot of stuff that.
But my question is factual, which means today, as you sit here, is there anything you can tell us that was happening with the software where Nick and Samuel had to go assist in this? What was that?
Okay, so Samuel was missing for about 3 hours. When he returned, I said, "Where were you?" He said, "I was at the warehouse." I said, "Where's this warehouse?" And I said, "Is it an Amazon warehouse? I don't know. What kind of warehouse is that, right?" And he said, "We call it the Chicago warehouse." And I said,
okay, so it's in Chicago? Because they're from Colorado. I said, so it's in Chicago? And he said, no, Melissa, it's in Detroit. We call it the Chicago warehouse. I said, okay, and I just walked away. But there was something very secretive that he was doing. There was also they said a big data loss right before they sent Samuel to this warehouse.
What time was that?
That was when Samuel went to the warehouse. That was approximately. It was in the afternoon. I believe it was around 2 or 3.
Was that on the 3rd or the 4th? You have written testimony from the sheriff?
Oh my God, it is fucking cold out here. Just trying to get used to this. It's 28 degrees. I don't know. I just moved back from Arizona in January, so I'm just trying to get after like 10 years in Arizona. So I'm trying to get used to this Michigan weather again. You know. Yes, Donald, I hear you. I'm just waiting for the Supreme Court ass-kicking time.
Take the ones that had already been used, put them back into the pile, put the ones that had jammed on top, and then rescan. They were not discarded. So they were just rescanning, counting ballots 8 to 10 times. Just recounting them. They had absolutely no idea what they were doing.
So you're saying that they were literally opening up the box, taking the ballots back out of the box, and then sending them through again?
No, they were just taking. So
when
a ballot, when a ballot was, when the error came up on the PC in front of them, and it said that a jam occurred, I would go try, because it happened so many times in a 27-hour period. Each machine, it did it between 2 and 3 times an hour. So, because these were folded ballots, mail-in ballots. So, when it occurred, and then it threw up the error, discard, rescan, as I just stated, you were supposed to take the problem ballot that got jammed, put it on top of the whole pile, discard it, because that's why the option is there. If you do not discard it, it is recounting it. So they would take the ones that were say ballot number 25 had an issue. You had already went through 24 ballots. So you're going to put them back all in a pile, and you're just going to rescan it. So it's counting those 24 again, instead of discarding those 24 and restarting.
But that's what I was trying to ask. So they're literally taking. You're saying that they're taking ballots that already went through the machine, taking and scanning them a second time.
That's absolutely what I said. Yes.
So help me understand. I haven't worked in AV County.
Okay.
I've been to my precinct, and when our ballots go into the tabulator, there's no access to them after they're accepted. They go into a sealed box.
Oh no, these ones. No, I've heard that too from other states that they do drop directly into a steel box. No, the steel boxes were behind them, which I could say a lot about that too, but I won't. But they were using those for barriers for the poll watchers so they couldn't get close, the steel boxes. But no, they were 100% in the counter's hands. This whole process. They were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do. Nick and Samuel that worked for Dominion, they were on the stage. They had a contract employee, me, and another one.
Oh God, it's cold out here.
Texas. I have his name right here.
28 degrees. There's all these trolls coming in.
9-year-old man there to assist with IT work. That he did not have any kind of background in IT and worked and lived in Tennessee. So this man was just walking around aimlessly. I was really the only one running around like crazy helping these people.
I'm not aware that it's
no, and they were responsible.
Machines I've been exposed to don't work that same way.
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
I look like shit.
So
That's all
they were
right.
trying to work with the equipment and the tabulators themselves. Correct. And they were gonna send you to the Department of Elections.
Initially, that is where I was scheduled.
Tabulators at the Department of Elections.
That's what that's the main question here, huh? Because I was trained on the tabulation and adjudication process, and how many people just came up before me stating that they saw people walking in and out of that Department of Elections with ballots. As I stated, I was not supposed to even talk about this today,
And
but I'm
then
going
as they're
to.
scanning, they have a pile of them, they're putting them through a scanner, and the pile, once it's gone through the scanner, is still fully accessible to the person
Absolutely.
who's doing the.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They could scan them 50 times if they wanted to.
Any other members have a question? Senator Lucido?
Yeah,
Senator,
this is interesting. You were trained to oversee tabulators. Is that what you told us?
I was trained to assist with IT
In tabulators.
and the adjudication process.
Trained you to use your technique on the tabulators as it relates to the IT.
Dominion.
Dominion did. Was it their representatives that came to the TCF Center?
It was the owner of Dominion